KSAM Huntsville, broadcasting live from the Wiesner Huntsville studios. We are your hometown radio station, playing today's best country and all your favorites. 101.7 KSAM.
It's the Huntsville Hornets Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern, brought to you by Chick-fil-a. Now, here's Carlos Zimmerman and Brian Adams.
Hey, Chick-fil-A, how we doing tonight on this Wednesday? Welcome back to the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, live from Chick-fil-A and presented by Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance. I'm your benevolent host, Carlos Zimmerman, alongside my main squeeze, Brian Adams. And with me, as always, is the guy himself, head coach Rodney Southern, as we get ready for this game on Friday. Y'all give Coach a round of applause this evening. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm good.
Doing well? All right, as always, we'll get an opening statement from you about last Friday, and then we'll get this ball rolling.
Well, overall, you're always disappointed when you don't finish on top in a game, but, you can always find the things that we need to do better, and obviously the biggest one of those is starting the game better than we have the last 2 weeks. We've fallen behind 21-0 or 21-7 and then have to fight your way back. But the second half, especially the fourth quarter, when we had some injuries and some guys had to step into some different roles, to be able to finish up with, 40 seconds left with an opportunity for an onside kick to try to tie the ball game. So you find a lot of good, you find the bad, you try to correct as much of that as you can and then build on the things that we know we did well.
Coach, just looking at on the defensive side of the ball, they stepped up again in the second half. Aside from the one touchdown given up at the beginning of the third quarter, but 20 minutes or so of stout defense. Just give me your thoughts on them.
Well, I thought overall we didn't play bad defensively at any point in time. It's just when you get a play, and we said this last week, and it kind of reared its ugly head again this week with, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. We've got to get off the field. We've made some mistakes there. We missed a couple tackles in some critical situations and gave them big first downs. And when you get into a district race or any game where you're playing a well-coached team, those plays will come back to get you at some point. Now, I thought in the fourth quarter, I thought we played well defensively. We tackled well, and I think we covered pretty well. But there's still some areas, obviously, we got to continue to get better.
Hey, Coach, looking offensively, the penalties – subsided quite a bit in that ball game. It seemed to me like on the offensive side of the ball, and you started the game off differently than you started any other game. I mean, they had a great drive, great return to kick the game off and everything like that. What kind of give us what was going on towards the end of the ball game offensively? Obviously, you had Austin go down, had to be replaced. Actually, you had 3 quarterbacks that night. Kind of walk us through that second part of the game.
Well, anytime you have an injury at any position, you should have, number one, you're going to have a backup. Fortunately for us, we try to always have 3 quarterbacks, ready to play in a game, because quarterback is totally different than any of those other positions. You can have backups at the O-line position where they make him play 2 or 3 positions, or you can have in Juwan's case, for example, you got a guy playing running back that also plays some quarterback. DeMarcus also plays receiver. So, those things you're prepping for. Now, obviously, going into this week, we've got 2 guys that we know that are going to play quarterback, and obviously we don't want to have any injuries. But if you get to that situation in a game, and we got to that in the fourth quarter, when a guy comes in at backup quarterback or comes in to replace a guy at quarterback, there's not a lot of time to think about what happened and what the situation is. It's more execute what is called. And I thought both of them, of course, DeMarcus drove us down and we scored. And then when Juwan came in, we also scored again and got to 2 points and, put us in a position to win the ball game. So, that's what you want to see from anybody. But, we've talked about this. We started in the spring because we knew this was going to be a team that was going to be short on depth in some positions, and we didn't want to bring up a bunch more young kids that don't get to consistently play on a Friday night. So a lot of those guys are on JV, and obviously we've kept both of our freshman teams intact. We don't want to have to move any of those guys like we had to do a year ago. But that also forces you to do, Braylon Phelps is a good example. Braylon's played linebacker. He's also played some running back. Jeremiah Winfrey's another one that came in that played some at corner. So we've worked guys on both sides of the ball. You try to build that depth as much as you can, but at some point some of these guys have got to step in, whether it's in a starting role or a backup role, and they've got to go in and make plays.
Coach, I know we've talked about this a little bit. After Austin had left the game due to injury, you turned to your two options at QB, DeMarcus and Juwan. I mean, drives that, weren't necessarily happening earlier on in the game and made it come down to a final play. Just give me your thoughts.
Well, I think the thing that does, just like right now Lamar Consolidated is preparing for two quarterbacks because they're not sure. They're probably, obviously they know, seeing what happened to Austin, they probably – in their mind, they're going, he's not going to play. So, what's their option? Well, they saw both of them, so they're going to have to prepare for both of them. And I think both of them give you a little bit of a difference in terms of what they do quarterback-wise. But we also have a set of plays and a set of things we're going to try to do with each one of those guys. And, and hopefully the consistency is there from the beginning of the game.
Coach, let's address it, It was obvious just from our side of the game, and then just even for the fans that were in the audience that day, it wasn't the cleanest of games officiating wise. And obviously, you don't blame a loss on officiating. Do you have anything to add to that on that front?
Well, I don't. When you deal with officials, the thing I always look at is, those guys are getting paid to do a job, and I expect them to do their job. Now, we're not always, you can watch any pro or college game, you're going to disagree with something that happens officiating-wise. There are times where as a head coach I have to bite my tongue because I can't say what I want to say. But there are also times when there's a potential danger that you allow to happen, or you react to it, because officials a lot of times get blamed, but they're reacting to what's happening in a game. And, like you said, and I would never do it. I don't ever blame, winning or losing, because last year we had a game that, there's no doubt in my mind, if that was officiated correctly, we probably win the game. But, you can't look back on that kind of stuff. We grade the officials. That crew that worked, especially the white hat that worked that game, he worked our Crosby playoff game. Sometimes games look different from the stands than they look from the sidelines or from an official's perspective.
Coach, looking at Montgomery in their game, really the theme was the big plays, the punt return for a touchdown, the interception that led to a touchdown, the drop interception on your side, which eventually led to a touchdown for them. Just what are you and your staff looking to do to limit big plays going forward, not just on Friday?
Well, obviously, any of those situations, we looked at Monday, and then we looked at it again today to correct the punt issue that we had, because that was a couple things. It wasn't just the punt and where the punt landed. There were some other things in terms of coverage. It was not good. We've corrected those things. When you're playing coverage, and you see it every day in high school, college, and pro, people don't realize how hard it is to try to play a guy when you are in man, and we ended up in man a couple of those situations, and you're trying to play a guy, not interfere with him and intercept the ball. That's a lot harder than people think it is. If it wasn't the NFL, those guys would pick every ball that's thrown. So, you try to correct mistakes. But the thing that I always go back and look at, especially on Saturday, and then I bring it back on Sunday when we meet at 2 o'clock. Once we meet, I go back and look at effort. And I look at every play, and are we running to the ball? Are our offensive linemen running down the field when we score a touchdown? Whatever the circumstances, because as long as there's effort, you can create opportunities, and you can obviously fix mistakes.
You know what, Coach? I was thinking that same thing right before you said. I was thinking the effort. And I look on that game Friday night, and I saw effort coming from everyone, every position, for the full 4 quarters. In that second half, when we looked like we were going to come back and have a chance to possibly tie, maybe go for 2 and win, who were some of the guys that stood out in your mind in their performance that second half?
Well, I thought overall defensively all 11 guys were, I think, a little bit more zeroed in on exactly what was happening now, because it was basically RPO, zone read, or deep ball. And we gave up a couple of those early, obviously, and the touchdown right after the half was probably the backbreaker of the game. And when you miss a couple tackles, that play gets magnified a little bit more, because that, again, was a third down situation where we could have got off the field or forced a punt anyway. So, you look at those things, and it's hard to single out a guy. I thought Trayvon came in and played our rover outside linebacker position and made a lot of plays, especially in the third and fourth quarter. I thought Juwan and DeMarcus both, under the circumstances, especially Juwan, being kind of banged up early in the year. There's a reason he hasn't gotten the snaps that he's gotten, and I think he's 100% now. So you look at that, and our offensive line has been pretty consistent all year long. We're not the biggest. We're not going to be the strongest, maybe not the biggest in terms of size, but they're going to fight and they're going to compete the whole game. And I thought they did that. And, again, with a minute left in a district game, you got a chance to go back and try to tie the game.
Coach, before we step aside and take a break, final takeaways from last Friday.
Well, you're disappointed, and that's kind of an understatement. We came back Saturday and watched it, and hopefully we've corrected, again, some more mistakes. I thought our young kids, again, got some more experience in a district game. But like I told them, Brenham didn't play. They were open. So there's 2 or 3 teams that are 0-1. There's 2 or 3 teams that are 1-0. So, we're happen to be now on the other end of that 0-1. But, these kids have continued to fight. They've continued to practice hard. Our coaches have done a good job. And we were just talking about it when we finished practice today. We had the best grade report we've had in the 9 years we've been here. So there are a lot of other things happening. We just have got to get back on the other side of the winning and losing, and nobody wants us to. That's the thing people don't understand. Our past has kind of caught up with us, and people, they want to beat us now. So, we've got to play even harder, and we've got to commit even more to what we're doing, because people want to knock you off, and they want to see you not be successful, and we've got to be better than that.
There you have it. We're going to step aside and take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look ahead to this matchup against Lamar Consolidated on Friday on homecoming night. So stick around, folks. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, live from Chick-fil-a in Huntsville tonight.
You might know that State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has great service. She has been your good neighbor agent for 35 years after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Walker County. So call State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes at 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Need help finding the perfect engagement ring? How about a special gift for anniversary? What about your old jewelry that needs repairing? Visit Ernst Jewelers on the downtown square, serving Huntsville since 1893. You can trust Ernst to take care of all your jewelry needs. Shop Huntsville's largest selection of high-quality bridal, fashion, and men's jewelry. With something for every budget, Ernst Jewelers promises to find just what you're looking for. Visit their store at 1115 12th Street or online at ernstjewelers.com. Ernst Jewelers, getting women into trouble and men out of it since 1893.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Chick-fil-A in Huntsville tonight. Hey, how we doing? We doing good? Let me just say, when I walked out the door this morning to come into the station, it felt nice and cool. I don't think I broke a sweat once today. Feels great, Brian.
Oh,
just feels great.
Finally.
And I'm still holding to you, Coach. You said it was going to be really nice and decent Friday night. I know we'll be in the box, but, it's going to be a gorgeous night for homecoming. All right, and let's talk about that. Getting ready for Lamar Consolidated, homecoming night, Friday night, Bauer Stadium, 7:30 kick, 7 p.m. pregame here on KSAM. Coach, just looking at the Mustangs, they enter 3-2. They had a 42-35 win over Rudder in overtime last Friday. Just what stands out about them?
Well, probably the biggest thing I told all the defensive guys Saturday morning, just, we didn't have a lot of time to watch a bunch of it before we worked out Saturday, but their quarterback offensively is their guy. He's number 7. He's a junior. He makes what they do offensively go. They're big O-line, and, we're going from here on out that can kind of be the same thing every week. They're going to be a team that's physically bigger than we are. But the quarterback has really and it's a combination of RPO run and RPO more quarterback. Yeah, he will throw it, but he wants to run the ball. He almost single-handedly won the game for him the other night, I think. He played really well, had 2 big runs in overtime, and then obviously set up their touchdown to win the game in overtime. But he is a good football player. They've got 3 big receivers. They play 2 guys a lot, and then the other guy kind of rotates between a tight end position and a receiver position. Those guys are big and physical. One of them, he's listed at 6'3". I think he's bigger than that. They've kind of been a little inconsistent in the offensive line because they've got some younger kids. They're playing 1 senior and 4 juniors at some stage through there. But they are now playing a little bit more with confidence over the last couple years. They've had some success, and they've obviously their program has grown a little bit numbers-wise. Now, defensively, they've got a really solid D-line. They'll play us with 4 down guys. They'll play us sometimes with 3 down guys and a backer that becomes that 4th guy. But they're senior-laden at every level. They've got seniors in the secondary. They've got 2 seniors at linebacker that kind of anchor them inside, and then they've got 3 seniors and 2 juniors that play a whole lot on the D-line. So they're a solid football team. They won a big game the other night. There was a lot of miscues early. Brian Rudder picked up a fumble and ran it in for a touchdown, and then the next drive, Lamar picked up a fumble and ran it in for a touchdown. So there were a lot of mistakes made in the game, but Lamar figured out a way to get it into overtime and then obviously won the game in overtime.
Coach, what I saw just from looking at this matchup, a disadvantage for them, and we briefly talked about this in the last segment, not only do they have to prepare for just 1 quarterback, they have 2 that they have to prepare for. How does that play to your advantage?
Well, you hope they spend time. Most teams, a lot like us, we're going to look and say, what are your best 5 run plays? What are your best 2 or 3 pass plays? And we're going to try to stop that. We're going to try to negate that and then force you to go to something else. The thing with this, obviously if they watch Juwan, they know he's going to run with the ball probably more than your average quarterback will, but which I think is good for us because he's a running back playing quarterback at times, and then he's a quarterback playing running back at times. So I don't know how much it changes in terms of what their preparation is, but they've also got to realize that both of those guys may be in there at quarterback, and I would assume they would think DeMarcus is going to throw it more, but we'll figure that out as we go through the game, and I hope they spend a lot of time worrying about all that and don't worry about our run game, and that gets us off to the right start again in the game and gets us back on track to winning district games.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about defensively on the defensive side. Does Lamar Consolidated give you kind of any pause, anything they do defensively, any stunts, any twists, anything like that may cause you some concern?
Well, big thing, especially a couple years ago, and they've kind of backed away from it a little bit, but they're not afraid to blitz you on any down, and they're not afraid to bring 6 guys. So obviously if they do that, they're probably playing you either straight man or some kind of man free where they've got a high safety. We see a lot more straight man probably than we do with a high safety. So, blitz concerns you, but there's, obviously ways to handle blitz. But the big thing is they're not afraid to do that, and they're not afraid to do it anywhere on the field. And they really like, at times, A-gap blitzes because it gets the guy in the quarterback's face, probably faster than anything else. So that's a concern because if you miss a guy, now you got a guy running clean at your quarterback.
Coach, how have things been in practice so far this week just to help you guys prepare for this one after a tough loss last Friday?
Well, I think this week's been good. Obviously, we joked and laughed about it last week, but, I spend a lot of time dealing with things outside of just football practice, and one of those is weather. I pay close attention to the weather, because it's going to determine, like on Tuesday, we go out Tuesday morning early, and, when it's 55 degrees, you kind of bouncing around and you feel better. And Even if you're a little bit sleepy, that cool air kind of wakes you up in the morning, and that's kind of our routine. And today, obviously, was a good day, both in the morning and in the afternoon. So, we look at a lot of things like that. Obviously, weather doesn't play a factor when you get to a kickoff on a Friday night, but all of those things I feel like are important, and I need to know what those things are as best we can because, we all know weather predictors are about 50% half the time. So,
Coach, let's talk on the offensive side of the ball, if we could. On the first drive of most of the ball game has either gone 3 and out or the drive has stalled out. You've made good progress downfield and it's stalled out maybe before the red zone or something to that effect. What are you and your coaching staff doing to try to get those kids kind of beyond that hump?
Well, the biggest thing is consistently – and just like yesterday, we do 2 red zone periods. We did an overtime period today. We did a 2-minute period today. So we are covering every potential situation. But, I can't put like we did a 2-minute today. Well, I know it's 2-minute and they know it's 2-minute because it's on the schedule. But you don't know if you're going to be in a 2-minute drill with your quarterback out of the game or your running back out of the game. So, you try to practice as many team situations as you possibly can, and we try to hit those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then tomorrow morning we'll go through about 7 or 8 of those situations, because the red zone changes not in terms of what you want to do, but the field shrinks. And that sometimes it makes things a little more difficult, especially when you're in a 2nd and 12 like we were one time the other night. Well, you're limited route combinations because of where you are on the field. So, you just try to continue to work on those things and in that situation, don't be afraid to go for it on 4th down. We tried to get those points the other night. We went for it and were successful a couple times, and then once we weren't. So, you just have to continue to rep that kind of stuff, and you got to understand, and that's why we preach and scream and yell all the time about know your situation, and you see that all the time. You saw Jimmy Garoppolo Sunday step out of the back of the end zone in a game. You see those things happen because there's a lot of other stuff going on just beside getting a play called and running a play and handing the ball off or throwing a pass if it's the situation.
Folks, if you're just joining us, you're listening to the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from Chick-fil-A in Huntsville. Coach, looking at the defensive side of the ball, which phase of the defense for you guys is going to be critical against the Mustangs?
Well, I think the front 7 or front 7.5, if you add that safety that ends up down in the box, because we've got to tackle number 7. He's one of those guys, you watch him on film, he's not as fast as everybody. He's not as big as everybody. He just makes plays. And he has very, very good vision and sees the field. And he knows, okay, I've got a backside tackle pulling, and I've got to get behind this tackle. And he made, I don't know how many plays against Brian Rudder and turned a run read that probably wasn't a real good read, turned it into a positive play. So, you got to cover the deep ball when he does throw it, but we've got to get number 7 on the ground.
And then in the kicking game, Coach, what adjustments are being made after those big plays that were given up in special teams last Friday? And I'm not going to assume anything, but now that Austin's on the sideline and not playing on Friday, who's going to assume the role of punter?
Well, we worked during the period, and we worked again after practice today and Monday, and we've got a couple guys that will handle the punting duties. And obviously if we punt from an offensive formation, whichever quarterback's in the game, they will handle the punting at that point. But, the things that happened on that one play we can correct. And, hopefully we fixed that. Our kickoff coverage has been good. It's going to have to be good again Friday night. So hopefully we fix the mistakes and those things, won't happen in a critical situation Friday.
Hey, Coach, individually Friday night against Lamar Consolidated, it's homecoming for Huntsville. Who are you looking – probably already know the answer, but who are you looking on either side of the ball to stand up and make a big play, make an impact in that ball game that is needed?
Well, I think when you look defensively, our linebackers are going to have to be a factor in the run game. And that's obviously one of their number one priorities. But there are times where RPO and run pass option. If it's a pass option, they've got to help us in coverage. But we've got to tackle from the perimeter, from corner to the three linebackers to corner. Now, we try to get safeties involved periodically, but those guys have got to tackle. And when it is long yardage, we've got to get pressure on the quarterback, and that can be a multitude of guys. It doesn't necessarily have to be one guy. Shiloh's always a guy that, from an athletic standpoint, where we play him, he's got to be a factor in the game. And, and obviously we rely a lot on whichever quarterback's in the game to be able to make some plays happen and get us out of some bad situations and get us in a better situation.
Coach, let me follow that up with one more. And I've kind of watched it kind of come more pronounced as the season has progressed. How can you keep that box from those guys stacking up 8 deep right off the ball? How can we keep it honest?
Well, I think the number one thing is, when we self-scout ourselves and we look at what we're doing, down and distance plays a factor in it. But, in order to be successful offensively, you got to be able to run the ball. And unless we say go in, we say we're going to go throw the ball 75 times, which I don't think anybody can go in and say that anymore, not with the way the game's played today. But, you've got to be able to hit a deep ball or two, and you've got to be able to have the fear of if I creep up too much or I sneak the outside backer into the box to stop a stretch play or an RPO, we've got to be able to hit a guy behind them. And we've had guys behind them. Some we've caught, some we've dropped. And, when you drop a ball on 3rd and 8, that's a twofold thing. Obviously, there's no kid running out there going, throw it to me so I can drop it. But when you don't make that play, now you've given the ball up again. And until we do that, people are going to load the box, because if we're in 2 backs, they're going to have 8 in the box because people want to have a +1 versus your run game. Same thing we try to do every play is have a +1 guy in the box to be able to help you on the run.
Coach, last week wrapped up a 3-game road stretch. 4 of your 5 games this season have been out on the road, and I just thought about this just now. The theme for homecoming in Huntsville this week has been the Wizard of Oz, and I guess we finally have clicked our shoes together and said there's no place like home. So how great is it just to be back in Huntsville playing the ball game?
Well, the big thing, and we always joke about it, or have for 9 years, we still get on a bus, but it's a 6-minute ride versus a 60-minute ride or a 2-hour ride. So it's always good to play at home, because obviously a lot of these kids have got friends and family that want to watch them play. And homecoming always creates a different atmosphere, because you've got people coming back to see friends and family, and just to be able to balance out your schedule if possible. And that didn't work out this year, but, for our benefit, it'll work out in the future. But it is good to be home.
Coach, before we let you go, as always, keys to a win to even your district record and pick up a win in front of a big crowd on homecoming night.
Well, number one key is we got to tackle number 7, wherever he is or whatever the situation. If he's got the ball in his hands, we've got to get him on the ground. We've got to convert 3rd downs offensively. We have been inconsistent at best on 3rd down. We've created either too many 4th downs or too many situations where we've had to punt the football to try to play field position. We got to do those things. We've got to clean up the kicking game, and we haven't made a big play. Last week we gave up one. The week before, Matthew Tatum's big play on a punt fake, but we need to do that somewhere in the kicking game, whether it's blocking a punt, blocking a field goal, or obviously I'd love to return a kickoff for a touchdown, because those are big momentum-shifting plays.
There you have it. Y'all give it up for head coach Rodney Southern. Thank you for joining us tonight, as always, Coach. And now
Coach.
We'll transition to the player segment side of the things. Kicking us off will be the jack of all trades on the offensive side of the ball, Juwan Gibbons. He'll join us here in a few moments, so stick around, folks, as we take a break here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from Chick-fil-a.
Of reclining sofas and love seats, Adams Furniture has a great selection of Ashley, Lazy Boy, and Mayo furniture to choose from, in stock and ready for you. Adams Furniture also has a large selection of recliners in stock. And if you're ready for a great night's sleep, go and see Adams Furniture. If you're tired of sleepy days and restless nights, Adams Furniture has sleep solutions. Adams Furniture stocks name brand mattresses like Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Posturepedic, and Serta. Get healthier and happier with a night of quality sleep on a comfortable mattress. No matter where you shop, come home to Adams Furniture. Adams Furniture, where you'll find the best deals, quality name brands, and great service from your friendly neighbors at Adams Furniture. At Adams Furniture, they have a variety of financing plans available for you with terms that fit your budget. Go see them today at Adams Furniture, Highway 75 North and 10th Street, or shop online at shopatadams.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, live tonight from Chick-fil-A in Huntsville. Hey, how we doing? We doing good? We feeling funky fresh this evening? I know Trayvon is here. He'll come on here in just a few moments.
I think Stephanie's feeling funky fresh.
I think
all the way from Italy. She couldn't stand it any longer.
She's just glad to be back in the States. I mean, it looked like a good trip. Like, I was jealous. Like, Italy just sounds like a good time. So, all right, we welcome you back here on the show. Joining us now is quarterback, running back. I think you can play him in any position, and he can make a play happen. It's Juwan Gibbons. Y'all give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Juwan, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Let me hear from you. How's the season been so far, from your perspective for
I
you?
mean, with my injury in the beginning of the season, I didn't really get to play, so I guess it's been good.
Outside of that,
all right. Outside of that, it's been good.
Good stuff. I mean, let me ask you, what or who really got you into playing the sport of football?
Man, all my cousins, watching them grow up and play.
And you just wanted to go out there and do it yourself?
Yeah.
Who are some of your cousins that you watched?
They ain't go to Huntsville.
Oh, they didn't go to
Huntsville?
Huntsville?
Okay, gotcha.
Well, that's
Gotcha.
all right. We forgive them.
Now, you did talk about that. Just it's been tough for you probably having to be on the sideline for most of this season so far. What really gave you that motivation to just, keep on pushing, knowing that you were going to get cleared before long?
The team.
The team? What about it?
I don't. What you mean?
Just what about the team just helped motivate you to get back out there on the field?
Being with your teammates?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's all you can ask for.
It's all about team, man.
That's right. So, looking back at last Friday, Juwan, your first game back at full strength, just how did it feel? Just to be back out there making plays?
Man, it felt great. I was kind of nervous at first, though, when the game first started. But then it just
all came back to you?
It just came back to me.
There you go. That's all you can ask for. Now, you and DeMarcus, y'all traded the QB role last Friday. I mean, what's that dynamic been like? It's a different kind of situation than from past years, having two different quarterbacks. Just, Coach told me you could play just about every position out there, so I'm sure you got a lot of confidence behind you. So just really, what's it been like just working alongside DeMarcus?
I mean, it's been good, but in practice, I don't really work. I just not started working the QB position. I was really over there with the running backs and the backs and stuff. That was Austin and DeMarcus doing the QB and stuff.
Okay.
But whenever Austin went down, I went to quarterback during practice, getting the reps, learning the plays and stuff.
And then, so let me ask you that. What's it been like with the running backs? You're one of the leaders on that side. You got J-Bug and then Kieran with you guys. What's it been like working with them?
J-Bug haven't really been over there. He's been on the defensive side, working corner. But Braylon and Kieran, we getting a lot of chemistry together, timing and stuff like that.
Hitting your marks.
Hitting the marks.
Doing what you got to do. Good stuff. What does it mean to you now that you're going to be stepping into this starting role at QB while balancing all your other duties on the offense?
I feel like I just got to compete.
That's all you can do.
You know what, Juwan? I watched you play last year a lot, and man, you had an excellent year, and I knew you were going to this year was going to be good for you and everything else. Kind of tell the audience, the radio listeners, kind of the difference from being, a sophomore, first time on varsity, to a junior, starting on varsity and Friday night playing starting quarterback for the first time.
I can say it's a lot. From my sophomore year, when I first started, it was a lot faster, and a lot more to adapt to, like during the game and stuff.
Right.
But other than that, it was pretty normal. Like, other than that, transition.
Another year of experience under your belt.
Yeah.
Always helps. Good.
What are some of those things that you've had to adapt to between seasons?
As football, like the games and stuff. I say, like Coach Southern was talking about the situations and stuff, you know. I don't know. I just play. I just play.
Just a natural.
I just play.
That's perfectly okay. So, I mean, so far this season, as you're, getting more of a role in varsity, I mean, what have you really learned from your coaches so far through this season?
Coaches?
Are they the kind of coaches that just let you play and then they're like, all right, we're just going to let him do his thing? Is that right?
Nah.
Nah, Trayvon's saying no.
No. knowing the plays and knowing your role and what you're supposed to do and your job when you're on the field.
That's right. That's right. Now, kind of want you to just take me through your week by week. What does it look for you? Do you wake up, eat, hit somebody, and then back to sleep, or is there more to it than that?
Nah, my week start. Wake up at like 5, get to school at 6:20. Wait on the trainer so I can do rehab. Mm-hmm. Then whatever day it is, we're gonna go lift weights, watch film, or go outside. And then after that, go to school, get ready for practice.
Hey, that sounds like a simple day. It's a simpler day than mine. I'm sure it's a simpler day than yours.
Well, it's very simpler than mine.
Brian.
Yeah, so who's your hero? I mean, who do you look at, maybe as a football player, maybe as a family member? Who do you look up to, man? Who's some of your heroes?
Heroes?
Who you look up to?
I really look at my cousins.
Cousins?
Yeah, my cousins. That's about it.
And because why?
Because they was all good at the sport that I'm playing.
So you wanted to emulate them.
I want to emulate.
I get it, man. That's awesome. Good.
Keep the name alive.
That's cool. Right. That's right. Do you have any pregame routines, loud music, certain meal that you got to eat?
Nah, it's usually a sandwich from Big Rod, Yeah, I just put my headphones in, be quiet.
Lock in. There you go. Do you do anything fun outside of football?
Fun? Nah, not really. I'm just chill. I just chill at the house.
Chill at the house?
Chill at the house.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Watch TV.
Watch TV? Any favorite shows you watch right now?
Or
you just watching sports all day?
Sometimes it's sports. Sometimes it's Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty?
They just came out with a new season.
Did they?
Yeah.
Is that anime?
No.
No.
It's not anime. It's not. It's animated. It's animated, but it's a really good show though. If there's another position, now I know I've called you the jack of all trades on the offensive side of the ball, but if there's another position you could play outside of QB and running back, what would it be and why? Don't say kicker now.
Probably be safety.
Safety?
Yeah.
How come?
So I can hit somebody.
There you go.
Catch picks.
If you could play another sport, now I know you play a little basketball for the high school as well, but if there's another sport you could play, what would it be?
Baseball.
Baseball. Why baseball? All right.
I heard a clap.
I heard a clap.
Terry, was that who was it? Who
was that? Austin. It was Austin
Taylor. There you go.
Oh no, I just feel like it'd be fun.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
Some new, or soccer.
Ooh, that's a different dynamic right there.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have a favorite food you like to eat, just in general?
Nah, I don't really got no favorite food.
No favorite food?
I don't got no favorite food.
Brian?
I don't have a favorite food.
Okay.
So what are your plans after high school? I mean, what is a career path you'd like to go down and achieve?
Well, I want to go to college and play ball.
What college you want to go to?
It's been LSU.
LSU Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Nice.
Go Tigers.
Very nice.
Do you have a favorite NFL team in particular?
No, sir.
No, sir?
No. The Texans.
Texans?
Yeah.
Hey.
Trayvon said the Bears.
Let's go.
Texans.
Hey, look, we may not have a win yet. We have a tie. We should probably be 3-0. But, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with being a Texans fan.
Man.
There ain't nothing wrong with that at all, even though some Cowboy fans would say otherwise. Do you have any favorite subjects in school? What do you like most about it?
Favorite subject right now? I say history.
History?
Yeah.
What intrigues you about history? Just
you have to learn about a lot of stuff that happened in the past, so you won't make the mistakes right now.
That's right.
Amen. Good job, man. That's history's my favorite subject too. Love it.
All right, Juwan, before we let you go, do anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah. Shout out to my granny and Miss Sherry.
There you go. All right, Juwan Gibbons with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Juwan, thank you for joining us. Best of luck to you on Friday, and thank you for coming on. All right.
Good job, Juwan. Good luck Friday.
We'll move on now to our next player. I've been looking forward to this one all day. He is starting now cornerback Trayvon Johnson. He will join us here after the break here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from Chick-fil-a in Huntsville.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes is your go-to agent in Walker County for the service you deserve at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has you covered. Call 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Hi, I'm Audrey Diamond, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and we are in the business of helping you take care of yours. If you didn't know, in addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts for commercial members. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members as well as our business members. Find out how easy it is to handle your business account needs with Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, live from Chick-fil-A in Huntsville and presented by Diana K. Barnes. State Farm Insurance continuing on with our player segments. We just spoke with quarterback, running back, however you want to call it, Juwan Gibbons. And now joining us is cornerback Trayvon Johnson. Y'all give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Trayvon, my man, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It's a good day. It's a great day, and I'm glad you're here, man. First off, before we get rolling with the questions, I want to congratulate you. You were named Walker County Player of the Week. Y'all give him a round of applause.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Outstanding.
Fantastic ball game Friday night for you. I mean, let me ask you. I asked Juwan this, but what's it been like for you so far this season?
Whenever I got to play, it was a real good thing for me. So being able to step up Friday in a big role for the defense is pretty good for me and my team.
Hey.
It would have been better if we came up with the win, but I'm proud of, my side of the ball and offense too. So.
Hey, that's always good. Let me ask you, what or who really got you into playing the sport of football?
Definitely my dad. I've been playing since I was 4, so, listening to him and, taking everything that he's told me is good for me. So that's where I am today.
I mean, it's the sport you've pretty much known your whole life, basically.
Yes, sir.
Trayvon, you've moved around a bit on defense. You started linebacker. Now you've transitioned to corner as of the Clear Springs game. What has the transition been like to you? And I think, would you say you're playing linebacker?
Yes, sir.
Again Friday?
Yes, sir.
What's the transition been like for you as a corner and as a linebacker?
Well, learning cornerback, it was pretty good for me. I would do anything that could help my team, But, getting to know cornerback for a little bit is always good to know, more than one position is always good. Mm-hmm. But linebacker, I've been playing it since 7th grade, so I feel more comfortable than linebacker than cornerback. So I like linebacker more than cornerback. So
I know that transition very well because when I played, I was a linebacker to start. And then the senior year, I guess, one day after practice, they were like, Carlos, you caught a lot of picks in practice. We're going to move you to corner. And I'm like, all right. Didn't like it. So I went back to linebacker really quick. Great game for you Friday night. I know Clear Springs was a very tough game for you, but Montgomery, I think I saw it on your dad's post. 10 tackles, 2 pass breakups that really helped keep your defense just in the ball game and the team as a whole. Just give me your thoughts on last Friday.
Like I said, I'm just glad that I could step up and, be a leader of the defense and, hold them down enough to give us a chance to come back in the game. So
now let me tell you, what goes on through your mind just every single play out there on the defense? I mean, you played corner, now you're moving back to linebacker. I mean, just what goes through your mind? I'm sure there's a lot you got to balance with opposing offenses.
Like Coach Southern said, it's tackle. So that's what I worry about most is tackling and, getting the person down. And he said at halftime that, it don't matter that, how we get them down, just put them to the ground. So, that's what I try to do. So.
You know what, Carlos and I, we've obviously been watching every game, watch it very closely, every play, and do the best we can to explain to the audience what we're seeing. And, man, you guys have laid some massive hits on your opponents. Sometimes, though, they bounce off those hits. And I think what you're talking about, wrapping up and bringing them down is so important. What have you learned most from your coaches so far this year?
I learned a lot, from the film room, to the weight room, and then most importantly, the field is just, Coach D is my coach, and I think he's a pretty good coach, just from, playing the position. He tells us a lot, from outside of football to football, and I just think he does a good job at what he does. And, but basically what I learned is, the simple stuff, like the key reads and, being slow for RPO and, stuff like that. So mostly tackling,
Yeah, good.
So
Good. A lot.
Yes, sir.
A lot.
Yes, sir.
Wrapping up. I forgot to ask Juwan this, and I'm disappointed that I didn't. Let me ask you this. Given that he's in the house right now, let me ask you, what's your thoughts about just getting to play under one of the greatest coaches in 5A and Rodney Southern?
Coach Southern, he's a great coach, actually. I love the talks, so I listen to every single one of the talks, but the situations, everything, all aspects, Coach Southern is a good coach.
Is he intense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, well, good.
He was giving a burning look right there. Now, you mentioned the vocal part. I mean, I saw you just during the game there. I was just saying you were getting into it, and
yes,
just tell me about that. Just being able to be vocal with your teammates.
The score was 28-7 at one point, and I wanted to win. It was our first district game, so halftime he told us that somebody needed to step up, and so that's what I tried to do my best and step up, and we got back close in the game, and I tried to keep it going.
Yeah, that's right. Came down to one play. Now, personally for you, what's been the theme for you in practice? What has been your main focus getting ready for Friday?
Tackling number 7. Watching film, he can run the ball, so we all got to rally to the ball, and we got to tackle him, and we got to hit him so that he don't want to run the ball no more.
That's right.
Nice.
I mean, you put him on the ground, he ain't going to want to run no more.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Let me ask you this, ask Juwan this as well. Just take me through your week every week. I mean, you get film you study film Saturday, and then all the way up to game day.
Monday is a learning day for me. So, we watch film. We go over the hit chart of, what the teams do, which I think has helped a lot with the formations and everything. So we know what to do whenever they come out in those formations. Tuesday is a grind day for me, the morning and the afternoon. Tuesday is the only day that we go full pass, so that gives us a chance to, hit. So,
yeah.
And then the rest of the week is kind of just, preparation for Friday so that we can go Friday and win.
Trayvon, who's your biggest inspiration on or off the field?
My dad, the conversations, sometimes he might think that, I'm not listening, but I listen to everything. So
your dad is a good man. He and I have talked a lot during the season. We talked a little last year and everything else, and I know he's going to support you, obviously, 100%. And that's awesome. I know your father's a big inspiration for you.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Very cool.
All right. I'm curious about this. You are the president of the Huntsville FCCLA. Just tell me, what is FCCLA and what do y'all do?
It's community service. Basically we do everything, that we could for our community or trying to do. So, I want football to last as long as it possibly can, but, whenever, it is over, that's my main focus is FCCLA. I like helping people, so anytime I can help,
yes,
that's what I'll do.
Give him a round of hand for that. That's awesome.
Now,
outstanding.
Now, I know one of your officers is in the house tonight. I mean, just who helps you really manage all the responsibilities of FCCLA? Because, I mean, you got a lot on your plate, man.
Shout out to Miss Kaysen. So that's our advisor, and then Paige is my secretary. So a lot of behind the scenes that go on. So I'm thankful for everybody who's a part of that.
Keep him in line, Paige. She said yes. All right. Do you have any pregame routines that you go through? Loud music, certain meal?
I listen to music, and, I eat. That's what I like to do, so that's pretty much it.
What kind of music?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything. I listen to everything.
Reggae?
No.
Okay. You said everything.
What is that?
Hey, what was it last week? What was that genre of music? Never heard of it.
We'll have to ask Cesar at some point. Do you have a favorite kind of food? Since you said you like to eat?
I like everything, but I like pasta.
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 Got to carb up. Gotta
Chili's
carb up.
pasta is good too, so I like it.
Hang on. Who?
Chili's.
Chick-fil-A?
Chili's.
Chick-fil-A?
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know if Mike's still here. I tried. Now, do you do anything fun outside of football?
I hang out with my friends and I play my game
Play your game.
and sleep.
Sleep is good.
Yes, sir.
Sleep
It
is very
is.
good. If there's another position you could play outside of corner, what and why?
Austin says quarterback, so I'm going with quarterback. Maybe if we win in like 100-0, maybe I'll get put in there.
Hey.
So
Nothing wrong with that. I'd pay good money to see that. Do you have a favorite professional team that you like watching in football?
Tom Brady, the Bucks.
The Bucks.
Yes, sir.
Why Tom Brady?
He's inspiring. Miss Kimberly don't like him, but I like him.
You like him?
Kimberly's not a big no.
No.
She thinks he's a loser.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to say anything.
I'm
not
gonna
going to say anything.
either.
Do you have
Yeah.
a favorite? Do you have a favorite college team you like to watch?
I like U of H. That's where I want to go. So
Hey, go Cougs.
yes, sir.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Okay, outside of Tom Brady, do you have a favorite professional athlete?
LeBron James.
I should have saw that coming. But hey, LeBron's great.
Michael Jordan?
LeBron James.
Okay. All right.
It is what it is. This on the defensive side of the ball. This has been the most scrutinized question I've ever asked any of our guys that we've had on defense. What do you like most about school? Favorite subject?
Culinary.
Culinary.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you did say you like to eat. So, I mean, hey. Well, I mean, what about culinary though? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it.
I like to cook, so I like to get involved, and I like trying new things. So
Nothing wrong.
Yes,
Nothing
sir.
wrong with that.
Nothing
Maybe
wrong with
open a restaurant one day. No?
No.
Eat there, though, right? Yeah. Okay.
What are your plans for after high school and your career ahead?
I want to go to college, and I want to be a coach. I want to be like Coach Southern one day.
Just like Coach Shelton.
Awesome. Very
Hey,
cool.
that's awesome. All right, Trayvon, I'll let you get going here. But first, as always, anybody want to give a big shout out to?
My dad, my mom, Miss Nikki, my family, Jada and her family, and my coaches and my teammates.
There you go. Y'all give it up for him.
And Miss Sherry. And Miss Sherry.
Miss Sherry.
And Miss Sherry. She going to get on me in the morning for that one.
Linebacker Trayvon Johnson getting ready for Friday's game. Trayvon, thank you for coming on,
Yes,
man.
sir. No problem.
We appreciate you, and best of luck to you guys on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we got one final segment before we get going. She's already giving me that look. Casey Kroll from the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club is going to let us know what is going on for Everything Gardening Homecoming. So she will come on up, and we will be back in 60 seconds right here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from Chick-fil-A.
Hi, folks. Clint Mack here with Wiesner in Huntsville. Do you need a new vehicle with great gas mileage? Do you want to save some money and not pay over MSRP or have to purchase the dealer add-ons? You need to come to Wiesner in Huntsville, where we are home of the bottom line. Not only do we not charge over MSRP, but if you qualify for supplier discounts, we'll honor that. Teachers, first responders, and anyone else that might qualify for supplier discounts. Ask our sales consultant to look into it and see if your company qualifies. So if you want a great deal on a General Motors vehicle, come to Wiesner in Huntsville, where we are home of the bottom line.
Hi, I'm Kathy Markham. For over 40 years, we at Markham Realty have worked diligently to serve Walker County. But it's not just about making the sale. It's about our clients and the relationships we have built together along the process. We pride ourselves with the experience to guide you, the commitment to find you the right investment, and the trust we build together while making sure your interests remain our top priority. You should visit us online at markhamrealty.com. And thank you, Walker County, for voting us Best Real Estate Company for 2022.
All right, folks, getting to the home stretch of this one. Welcome back to our final segment as we get to sit down with the president of the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club, Casey Kroll. Y'all give it up for Casey.
Thank you.
Casey's
Come
in
on.
the house.
Casey, thank you for always coming on.
Oh, no problem. Thank
Hey,
you.
it's homecoming week. It's going to be a very fun week. We got the homecoming parade coming up tomorrow night.
Yes, it's a busy week. We've had a lot going on. Tomorrow night is the parade. Varsity football players, if you want to ride on the float, you need to be at Brookshire Brothers on the left-hand side over by where the trucks unload. The trailer will be there until he has to go line up in the parade. Then Miss Kimberly Taylor and myself will transport students from Brookshire Brothers to as close as we can to the trailer. If you drive, please park there. If you're being dropped off, that is where you're going to be picked up as well. When that parade ends, you do not get off the float until you get to the Brookshire Brother parking lot. And if you get to the Brookshire Brother parking lot and don't have a ride, please get with me or Mr. Kroll.
What time do the players need to be at Brookshire Brothers?
That depends on when Coach Southern lets them out. So as soon as he lets them out, get over to Brookshire Brothers. Miss Kim and I will be watching for you.
There you go.
There you go. What do you guys have coming up in store outside of homecoming week?
We have, let's see, on October the 16th, senior parents, mainly moms, but if mom isn't available, grandma, guardian, they're going to do senior pictures with DJ of game day photos at the high school that Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. DJ will have the jerseys, moms, white shirts, and blue jeans. Players need to wear jeans as well. On October 21st, we're going to have the Hornet Buddies and sponsor photos. This year we were lucky enough to have sponsors that covered all of our Hornet Buddies, and we're inviting them to come to the game, take a picture with the players, and the players will get to stand with, the Hornet Buddies will get to stand with the players during the national anthem. And then we have on the 29th, the end of the season event for the junior high. It's all still in the works. Tailgate on November the 4th and the banquet on January 12th. All this is in the works. Please come to the meeting on Monday nights at 6 o'clock. And we're going to have a small booth at Fair on the Square selling spirit gear, Dave Campbell magazines, flags, koozies. Just come out and see us.
Hey, you got a whole lot of stuff that you can give out. So, hey, folks, don't forget to support the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club. We do have a box over here if you do want to put your name and information on. We will be doing a giveaway of those flags. And I remember you saying that one of them will, or both will be signed?
One of those flags, we're going to have the whole varsity football team signed. So all these signatures, maybe not today, but in a few years, that one signature may be worth a lot of money.
That's right.
Trayvon
Trayvon going to the league. So
That's
you better
it.
sign that thing good. He agrees. So, Casey, before we let you go, just for anyone that may be listening for the first time, how can they help you guys out?
Come to the meetings, give us your input, give us just a little bit of your time. Everything that we do as far as the Hornet Football Booster Club, Quarterback Club, everything we do is for 7th grade through varsity football teams. We don't get paid for this. Everything we do is volunteer. We do whatever needs to be done for the boys. If they need meals, they need anything, Coach Southern comes up and says, hey, we need to do this, we try and help out.
You know, those of you who are here tonight in Chick-fil-A 1, we thank you guys for coming. And those of you who are listening to us on the radio, it's so important. The Hornet Quarterback Club needs your help, okay? Please come volunteer just a few minutes of your time, whether it's a sub-varsity game, whether it's just helping out, whether showing up to the meetings, just contribute, because it's all about the kids. And they need your help. We need your help. Please come and help us out.
Casey, as always, thank you very much for coming on. Y'all give it up for Casey tonight. Thank you. All right, we are running short on time. Normally, me and Brian will break down the matchup for you, but we are short on time. Just want to let you know we will have the broadcast for you with video, 7 p.m. pregame, brought to you by Advantage Specialties. And then at 7:30, we will kick off Huntsville versus Lamar Consolidated. And, folks, before we do go off the air tonight, I do want to send our thoughts and prayers to the folks in Florida as they're dealing with the effects of Hurricane Ian right now. I mean, I was just watching the coverage all day long. A lot of places have been devastated. So just before you go to bed tonight, obviously have your thoughts and prayers with the people in Florida. So before we go tonight, as always, let's give them one big sting 'em tonight. Sting 'em Hornets tonight on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Sting 'em.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you on Friday. Huntsville, Lamar Consolidated, 7:30 kickoff. Good night and God bless from Chick-fil-A.
This has been the Huntsville Hornets Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Hornet pride lives on KSAP.